Come on in, my crafty friends. It has been a minute since I have gone live. I didn't go live last week because I need to rest up. I had just finished what would you say, a spring crochet festival, which was really good. My mini frogs did very well. So come on in. If you don't know who I am and you watch this replay, I'm Deborah and I'm the hands behind Taylor's Yarn Creations. And so tonight I am working on crochet wallets. This is a pattern that I kind of created. I created for a beautiful young lady. I gave her a green one as a gift for an order she placed. And so now I have to reproduce it in order to create some more orders. This one is like you can see it's a denim blue. I don't know if the lighting is not really good. I don't know why it's yellow up in here, but it's a denim blue. It's really, really pretty. It's just about finished. I just need to weave in some of the ends. It has 3 pockets, 2 here on this side, and then 1 on this side. And then I need to add like the little handmade tag. But this is made with nylon yarn, and nylon yarn is it's a little bit more pricier than standard yarn because of the material type. It's really good for wallets, purses. I would not recommend doing any hats with this. No hats, no scarves. This is a really like a macrame type yarn. 2.2 millimeter is what I'm using. It's a little bit harder on the hands when you're crocheting it, but it's sturdy. And a lot of my clients who have come through my booth, they tend to pick up this type of material. Like I'll have some cotton yarn, and they always tend to gravitate toward this one. So I guess if I had all cotton, it wouldn't be nothing but trying to make a decision as far as what color. But when they pick up this and they feel the quality of it and they look at the beauty of it, they end up buying it. So I sold a royal blue one because out here, Memphis Tigers is really a big popular group or basketball team. I guess it's basketball. I need to get with it. I went to the University of Memphis, but I didn't really participate in any sports. I did a lot of online courses. So I'm weaving in this color, the ends, and this will be finished with the exception of, I think, the snaps. I'm going to do snaps and then the tag on the outside. So I'm going to be using this beautiful red. I need to do a couple of these. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to reproduce this pattern. I got the pattern written, and I'm just going to do this again. Reproduce it again. So, and if my internet is not stable, it's because we've gone through 5 days worth of intense rain and storms. It's really been interesting. Went out a little bit today, and the storms or flood waters at I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name of that river, but that river was flooded, and some parts of the road you can't even get through. And it looks like I don't know if it's going to crest, but if it crests by Tuesday, it's going to flood out that entire road. Some interesting days we live in, isn't it? Talk about praying. I think, what was it, Wednesday? It started raining Wednesday or Thursday. I can't remember. We've been just getting like monsoon type rains. And we got a storm that was, we were like 9 out of 10 in regards to tornadoes. And talk about learning how to pray all day. until the storms pass. That's what I did. That's what we did. We lost power a little bit on yesterday. Not very long. It wasn't too many homes that lost power. I don't know. They said some type of utility pole. People don't know how to drive. They don't know how to drive when it's dry, let alone when it rains. So I'm not going to be on too terribly long, just long enough to just say, hey, keep connected to you. I may change the day, but right now I really like this time. It allows me to get things done. Saturdays, I try to spend time with my family. Sometimes I could probably come up here on Saturdays, but yeah. So at the last market, my market was pretty good. It was very intense because it was like an all-day event, and they were one of those vendors that said, hey, if you leave early, don't come back. Don't come back. And I don't blame them, because there's nothing more discouraging than when you're at a market and just because you're not getting the sales that you hoped for, you feel like you can leave at 3:30 even though the event is till 5. So it was really a good market in the sense that I got a chance to meet a lot of new people. I met some people I already knew in the area, and I got some really good ideas, and I got some information for another event that's going to be coming up in this summer. So after I finish a few of my orders that I did have, I'm going to be prepping for that. And then I have to prep for the 2. I think I'm trying to do 2 for the Christmas holiday. I'm going to try to do 2 events. And I've already registered for one. It's one of my favorites. And the second one is the same as the one we did for the spring. So I'm going to do it for the winter. They say it's supposed to be really good. And you do get a lot of people, a lot of traffic. So I'm going to try to get the same space that I had. They had a lot of different little areas you can sit in. I didn't want to sit in the hallway. Even though you can get a lot of traffic, I like to be in the room. So I was in the room, and it was like right there at the front door. And I met some, like I say, some really awesome people. And some of the items that I had not taken I hadn't taken it in a while. I had a little crochet little doll, and this one little girl, she fell in love with it, and it's gone. I sold some chickens. I think one bunny rabbit I made like 2. How many bunny rabbits did I make? I made the ones with the big ears, and ones I gave away to a lady who's she had been at this one table. There was like a nonprofit. They were selling honey, and she shared her story about, being sober for, I think she said 9 years. I don't know how many years, but she had been sober for so many years. This organization helps women get out of sex trafficking. And what they do is they sell honey, and they make honey, and they package honey. And they do that as part of learning a trade and learning how to get back into the world at large. And they give them 2 years to kind of like do the right thing, and then they help them along the way. But this lady, I don't want to say her name. I'm gonna call her Grace. She had not seen her parents in 33 years. Because she said at 17, she thought she was all that in a bag of chips. She said, her dad said, if you're that grown, you got to go. So that's what she did. She left. She went off on her own, and she would keep in touch with her sister, and just along the way, and kind of didn't really talk to them even. But she kept in touch through her sister to make sure everything was okay with her parents and all that. but she just lived her life, and she lived wayward until she joined that program that helped women. And so she said she had not talked to them in 33 years, and they were driving from North Carolina to see her, and they had not seen her in all that years. She had not seen them. And her birthday was like, this event was like on a Saturday, and on her parents were supposed to be in the area, and her birthday was on that Wednesday. I guess it would have been last Wednesday. Yeah, this past Wednesday, right before the storms. And it just touched my heart. And I gave her one of the yellow bunnies, to make a long story short. But just to know that it just did something to me, to know that a prodigal daughter was coming home, and that her parents could have passed on, and died, while she was living in the world. And she said her dad said he thought he'd never see her again. And so it's just a beautiful thing to know that she gets a chance to reunite with her parents before they pass on, and that they can rebuild a relationship that had been lost due to somebody's her decision to just live her life outside of the norm. So that was just a beautiful, beautiful story. So it touched me. So I gave her one of my bunnies, and hopefully she'll remember. And she's her intention is to stay sober. So I'm going to eventually write up this pattern. This is the blue one, but I'm going to write up the pattern and make the red one. I'm going to work on the red one next. But this kind of yarn, once you cut it, you have to burn the ends, because in order for it to it normally doesn't unravel, but you still have to burn the ends. So it's really good thick yarn, good solid heavy. And I just kind of made up a pattern originally for as a gift, and I meant to write it up when I first did it, but I didn't. So I'm hoping that when she receives it, that it will look just like what I gave her. If not, then hers will be special, and the ones that she gives as gifts will be a blessing to them as well. So I love this yarn. This yarn is so wonderful. So that's it. I'm going to put this aside and start with the red. So once I find the end, and like I say, this yarn it's a really pretty yarn. I think it's made in Turkey, 2 millimeter. I don't have the little the wrapping for it, but I got this off of Amazon. It's 2 millimeter in weight, and I use this to make a purse. And I don't have the purse. The purse is packed away. I need to get it. And I need to up the price of the purse. Somebody was selling something at this past event, and it was like a little, it was a little cute little doll, but it was made out of scrap yarn. And she was charging $70 for it. And she said, I don't care whether people like it or not. I'm not going to reduce my price. So that's what she did. She ended up, get my hook. She ended up not selling it. And that's the hard thing, I think, for crafters and people that spend a lot of time on their items. When you get through at the end of the day, you put in your time, your energy. You can't really, I don't think you can really, you can, it depends on who you are. You can put in your hours and say, okay, this right here took me 4 hours to make this. And if you want to give yourself $20 an hour, you're saying right now that this is going to cost you $80. I'm telling you, you may get some people to buy it, and you may not. You just have to be really careful with that. I don't know what I would sell it for, but I'm not sure if I would sell it for $80. And that's just the base pay. That's my salary if I was to pay myself. It doesn't even include the material. The material itself is expensive. You're talking about the snap, the material, and also the little label that goes with it. Hope my dog don't come up here. I don't think he can come up here. I had the door shut. He needs to stay down there. So it is now it's not it I don't really think the temperature today got up to be 50 degrees. And I think it's gonna get a little bit in the 70s later on down the week. But it's to me it's cold. I don't know. I was made for the sun, honey. And it's cold right now. So right now I'm doing 30. I'm going to do 60 of these chain stitches. And then I'm just doing a basic crochet stitch. And after I get to so many rows, I may take pictures just so I can start another pattern. Another pattern I can put on Etsy. I don't know if you can hear this. This yarn is, like I said, it's heavier, it's sturdier. It feels a little bit harder on the hands because the cotton yarn and acrylic yarn and other types of yarn just kind of, it's softer. But this one is a little bit harder. And I think that's why I charge more for this than I do with a regular, if it was cotton yarn. I haven't priced it just yet, but we'll see. I don't want to quote a price and then turn around and you go and find it on my website or somewhere and it's higher. And then you be like, you've seen this video that it's going to cost this much. Well, I'm not going to say it. Let me finish these chains so I can get on with my life. 61. That's where I'm trying to get to. You can hear me pulling through. So I have 61. Isn't it gorgeous? It's gorgeous. I wish you could see it in person. It's really gorgeous. This red is going to be beautiful. So I have to do a couple of these. And like I said, it's not time consuming, but it's hard on the hand. So sometimes I have to stop. And now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn in the back bumps. I'm going to insert my hook in the second chain from the hook and just do a basic single crochet stitch. You can, if you can hear that, then that tells you that the yarn itself is not. If you have anything going on with your hands, this is not the type of yarn you want to play with. Or you can play with it, but just be mindful that it is a stronger, more durable type yarn. It is probably going to be well worth the beauty of its effects at the end. And the back bump can be fun. Just trying to make sure that you keep your tension and you get into the back bump, especially when you got a needle that doesn't have a point. So I've been working on a lot of different items lately. I'm going to come up here and dedicate one of my goals for this month is to spend time up here getting this room organized. You know, I have these events, and then it's like it's hard to work in yarn clutter. Call it yarn clutter. But I'm excited about this summer event that's coming up. So I have plenty of time to prepare. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to spend a lot of time, and I'm going to bring a lot of the items that some of the items I may take with me because it's kind of summery. Some of my sunflower keychains I'll bring with me from um, what I made in the past. I sold a lot, but I still have some I can use, bring with me. But I want to make a couple of be very, very it's a 1 day event. It's only for a couple hours, maybe about 5 or 6 hours. And it's I'm not going to be bringing a whole lot of items, and I'm gonna go and let's see, look at the facility and check it out early. But I normally don't like to leave my items anywhere overnight unless if it's a 2 day event. I'll set up the first day. I'll bring my stuff the first day, but then that night I will leave it. But if it's a 1 day event, I just like to set up that day because, of course, they have this note that says, "We're not responsible for anything that comes up missing." And I said to myself, well, I'm not going to be bringing anything that's going to come up missing. Just like when I sent that Komori stuffed toy, I'm like, please, post office, don't lose this. Do not lose it because this is not something you can go in the store and just rebuy. I don't care if I have insurance on it. I don't care whatever you say. This is irreplaceable. So if somebody comes in and they open your box and they say, oh, I love Komori, and then they take your stuff, the toy you handcrafted for someone, that would not be good. Especially, it's a gift, it's a one time. You can always remake it, but it's not the same because you expect it to get there on time. I think I would be like, that's why sometimes I don't mind doing custom orders, but I get so nervous sometimes because it's not, like I say, you can't replace it. So, but this is going to be gorgeous. It's taking me longer because, like I say, this yarn, finding the back bump on it. Finding the back bump on it is not hard, but just trying to get it through when you have a dull crochet hook. And once you get it started, it goes a little bit faster, but it's that initial tug of war. And I'm going to I gotta get the snaps. Like I said, I gotta get organized. Snaps might be up here somewhere. Spoon is gorgeous. Well, it's plenty of room. It's just that I never once this thing over here fell and I had to use zip ties. It wasn't as pretty. My niece and my sister had come. My two nieces and my sister had come and helped me organize it. And once it fell, I have not had the motivation to kind of get it organized the way I want to. So I'm gonna have to really spend some time up here so I can know what I have. I did start putting some of my cotton yarn. At first, when they helped me, they kind of they matched up the colors beautifully. But you have cotton yarn and then you have acrylic yarn. Then I had some plushy yarn. So I had to make sure that the yarn types were organized. So I do have them in tubs. I have cotton yarn in tubs. I have some of my acrylic yarns behind me, my multicolored yarns on one section. So I have organized chaos, but I need to kind of still kind of bring them out. I have yarn that's in bags that I bought for projects because when you're not really sure what you want to do, you're all over the place. So I would recommend that, kind of find something that you want to do, a niche area. I really wasn't into the plushies. I just kind of started doing that. Get that down. I just started doing the plushie yarns, I want to say last year or something. And because you get in these Facebook groups and they're like, oh, this really sold. And so you try it and then you find out that people do like the plushies. Really, it started with didn't even pay attention to some of the Facebook groups. My first event in Christmas was at I want to say was it last year? It might have been last year's Christmas. Oh no, it was the year before. Oh, I need to write this down. It was a year before, and this little girl saw a little teddy bear, and she fell in love with it. And at that point, I realized I need to do more plushies. I also probably missed out on a sale because there was somebody on Facebook. They said, do you sell teddy bears? And I'm like, no, these are for the event. Don't do that. You're in business. Yes, I sell teddy bears. How many do you need? Don't bite the hand that's trying to feed you. I don't know what I was thinking, but I ended up selling all those. And last year I had some plushie items and I had hats. The hats, my crochet hats do a lot better in the autumn than they do in the summer or any other time. I think people just don't wear hats. Because at the event, I didn't bring a lot. I made about 3 toddler hats between the age of 1 and 10. They thought it was cute, but I didn't get any hits. And I made a couple of doll hats, and they thought they were cute, but I didn't get any hits. And then I looked and I realized a lot of people here in the South just don't wear hats. At least not, normally they don't. So I have to find other items that fit the area. Like I said, the little frog eggs did very, very well. Some of my kitchen items did well. My bunnies did well. I sold a couple chickens. They did well. What else did I sell? I did make enough to cover my booth and everything. I had some ideas. I overheard some ideas, and I like to bring things that are different. It was so interesting to watch when people were coming to the table and they were buying the little eggs, and the other crochet. It was about 2 other ladies that were in the room that did crochet, and they were like looking and wondering, what are people buying? Matter of fact, I think one came and bought some eggs. They were little mini frogs. I probably could sell them for more, but I sold them for like $3 for one or 2 for $5 because I wanted to make sure that they went bye-bye. They didn't take long to make at all. And I want to make sure that they got out the door. And they loved them. And one lady was like, oh, I love these little things like this. So I'm sure when some of the other crocheters probably like, why are they at their table? What are they buying? I'm not getting any sales. And I'm like, these are $5. I'm going to have to sell a lot of these $5 ones to make my booth space back. And if it wasn't for the chickens and the plushy bunny rabbits, and I think I sold a couple keychains it really helped me a lot. So I was pleased with the event. And like I say, as you go there, you realize nobody dresses up for Easter anymore. At least there they didn't. And so I'm probably gonna put my hats, maybe I'll put them on Etsy, see if they'll do well. If not, I will maybe try to see if I can take them to some type of kids boutique or something, see if they're interested in them, or I'll just take them to the next event until someone, their proper owner, appears. I am going to increase my little I have a couple of handbags that I handmade, and I don't know, the ladies, people are different. I made last year I made some Grinch bags that kind of was over the body bag, and I probably will be making a couple of those. That was my own pattern, so I know you're not going to find it in the store. And because of that, I will probably do some more. I made a applique, my own personal applique. I'm going to have to reproduce it because I didn't write it down. And I don't know if I was trying to decide, do I want to put the pattern on Etsy? So many people that come and, you think through a project and you make the time to write it down. And then somebody just comes along and takes your pattern and doesn't give you credit for it. They sell your work. And that's one of the things that we as crafters have to be on the lookout for constantly. We know that people mimic and copy and everything, but you don't have to take the pattern verbatim and sell it. And you don't have to take somebody's heart, that thought process that they've done. I've seen people that, I guess because I sometimes I'm always looking through the patterns on Etsy, and I see where people have taken free patterns and sold them. And I'm like, you little thief. That's why you don't have that many sales. You cannot do wrong and expect good to follow you. You can't. So you can see that their sales were low, and then sometimes they can get in trouble. And like I have like the Komori doll, that was more of a gift. It wasn't necessarily for sale. Because I know that sometimes they're you have to be careful. You have to be careful. So I make it this long, and then when I get to a certain point, I will fold it a couple times, and that will make beautiful the bottom part. And like I say, as I practice more and more with this pattern, I'm going to write it. I've written it down already, but now when I do the second one, it's more of a test, and when I do the third one, it's another test. And if it turns out to be just the way I do it, if they all turn out the same, then it turns out pretty good. So it looks like that when you fold it, and it should kind of line up with if I did my stitches right. All things are not the same. I think I have the same amount of stitches. Let me try this. If everything lines up perfectly, when I fold it, they should all be about the same size. So I don't know if it will or not. I'm just wrestling with this stuff. You want to pray for me? If you know how to pray. If you got a good connection with God, please pray for me. If you don't, please don't. Don't. So anyway, I'm going to fold it, and it should kind of match this. This I can't guarantee because all yarns are not the same. I wish they were. This might be different from this right here. And then it's like, come on. Why? You can even, it can be even the same name brand, but for some reason it may not even mesh up the same. If, say for example, I buy another blue, the blue may be a different dye lot, and because it's a different dye lot, it will not be the same type of blue. So a lot of times when you're buying yarns, you may want to buy it all at once, and you want to check the dye lots because they try to mix it and make it the same, but sometimes it's not. Some are redder than others. Some are darker blue. So it's best to try to make sure that you buy it all at once if you can't, if you can. So this is it for now. I'm going to jump off and I'm going to count these numbers to make sure it lines up perfectly. And I will see you next week. Maybe I'll see you during the week. It just depends. I'm trying to really get my schedule together. I'm working on being as consistent and intentional as possible. So until next time, my crafty friends, you have a great evening. Stay safe. Bye.